It's now 6 o'clock right here on Big Breakfast. Today FM, today's hit music.
Hey, I'm Pauline.
And I'm Alan. Tune in to the Breakfast Show on Today FM with Pauline and I every weekday morning
from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
right here on Today FM, today's hit music.
Today FM, today's hit music.
Good evening, this is FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. In this bulletin, fans flocked to Nandi Airport to greet their Sevens heroes. Prime Minister Volleyball Bainimarama meets his counterpart in Japan. And Speaker of Parliament rules that MPs need permit for constituency meetings. The victorious Vodafone Fiji Sevens team arrived back home this afternoon amidst a grand fanfare. Hundreds of fans gathered at the Nandi International Airport to welcome the newly crowned World 7 Series champions. The arrival of the team, who were received by Minister of Youth and Sports Laisenia Tuitumbo, will rest in Nandi tonight before making their way to Suva tomorrow. The side will stop by villages along the Queen's Highway before attending a celebration at Albert Park, which culminates with a dinner in the capital for the players. We will have more of the team arrival in our sports segment. Prime Minister Volleyball Bainimarama has held a successful meeting with his Japanese counterpart Shinzo Abe in Tokyo, Japan. Bainimarama is in Japan to attend the 7th Pacific Island Leaders Meeting, or Palm 7. Former Prime Minister Laisenia Tuitumbo has been paid his outstanding pension owing from 2006, and which amounts to about $583,000. However, the Attorney General Ayaz Said Qayyum today admitted in Parliament that there are other benefits still owing to the former PM. Maggie Boyle with the story.
Opposition leader Rotemu Mukepe today asked why former Prime Minister Laisenia Tuitumbo has not yet received the balance of his pension entitlements. The Attorney General Ayaz Said Qayyum, in response, explained what has been paid.
There is no outstanding balance owed on the pension. The arrears from December 2006 right up till 18 December of an amount of $583,263.64, which included gratuity, was paid to Mr. Garase on 18 December 2014 of last year. Furthermore, he is currently receiving a fortnightly pension of $2,443.78.
Said Qayyum says, though, some benefits are still owing to Garase.
Regarding the motor vehicle, because he was in fact was not given the motor vehicle. We accept that in that period of time. Now, he has claimed an amount of $275,000 for the non-provision of the motor vehicle.
He says they're now working towards ensuring all former PMs are paid what they're owed.
We have suggested a way forward to Mr. Garase. Similarly, should there be any other Prime Ministers, which also includes Mr. Mahendra Chaudhry, who is entitled to certain entitlements, they will also be remedied.
The Attorney General also elaborating on a review of the current policies, which in future could possibly see a cash allowance as opposed to the provision of a ministerial vehicle and driver, as is the current law. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Speaker of the House Dr. Chico Luveni has today clarified that parliamentarians who wish to hold constituency meetings need to obtain a permit as stated in the Public Order Act. NFP opposition member Tapon Raunindalo raised a matter of privilege last week, arguing that a permit to hold public meetings with constituents is an infringement on the rights of an MP. Dr. Luveni says members enjoy absolute protection on freedom of speech on debates and proceedings in Parliament, as well as debates in the Chamber and committee meetings.
While members work with constituents is very important and a large part of their job as a Member of Parliament, it does not fall within the definition of proceedings in Parliament and therefore protected by parliamentary privilege.
Sudelpa parliamentarians held their constituency meetings in Suva last week. A petition for relevant compensation to 500 landowners has been referred to the Standing Committee on Natural Resources. Opposition MP Viliame Ngavoka tabled a petition in Parliament today on behalf of Matangali Navuke, Nasalaulu, Nawevua and Nalotawa. They are the owners of the land on which the Vaturu Dam sits, a source of water for about 180,000 people from Momi, Nandi to Lautoka.
Their parents signed this in 1979 or so, and we know the characteristics, the qualities of these people, their parents. They are generous. I think it is incumbent upon us today, as leaders in Parliament, to be prepared to reopen these cases and address the issues that they bring up.
Meanwhile, Ngavoka filed a second petition with 67 signatories requesting the Parliament to look into the plight of staff and former staff of the Grand Pacific Hotel in Suva. The petition has been referred to the Standing Committee on Justice, Law and Human Rights. The National Flag Committee has begun meeting, going over more than 1,400 entries. Chair Elias Ndelana says they'll make the shortlist and the final decision may be a combination of a number of entries. The committee today discussed the criteria for choosing the flag. Fijians will have a chance to have their say when a shortlist is published on a website and on social media. The final design will be tabled in Cabinet, then in Parliament, before being unveiled on October 10th. Coming up after the break, correction centres continue to confiscate contraband items.
Ya vino por llamando a Chumani, música de Bula FM, number 2 en ser en hora ni den remanda que centro rental sabe que tener por minichi me va na koloko. Ni sabula.
Oya wa wati soni dalai.
Donga e mosindon.
Nama kikirau bena tolu kene bitu. Ena via kabi, moliti kene porombuka.
Goria na lali ne kabi. Bula FM, number 2 en ser.
A man has been charged with 45 counts related to alleged breaches of the Foreign Exchange Act. Abi Anand appeared in the Suva Magistrates Court this afternoon and has been released on strict bail conditions. No plea has been taken. However, his travel documents have been seized by the court. Nand is to reappear in court on the 11th of June. Foreign Minister Ratuinoke Kumbwambola has defended Fiji's growing international relations in Parliament. He was asked what has caused the influx of interest from China, the United Arab Emirates, Russia, India and others. Edwin Nund reports.
Fiji's foreign policy is friends with all, enemies with none. That's been the driving force in decisions to form more diplomatic ties.
The leaders of all these major countries seek stronger engagement with Fiji and the Pacific Islands, and also Fiji plays as a hub in the Pacific. Such visits, Honourable Speaker, Madam Speaker, diplomatically, economically and culturally is beneficial to Fiji.
Fiji has hosted the likes of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chinese Premier Xi Jinping. Foreign Minister Ratuinoke Kumbwambola says these have paid dividends with numerous agreements on defence cooperation, security and climate change.
They do not know the facts. There is no condition, no payment of ransom money has been claimed from the other side of the House. It was just done by goodwill.
The minister also told the House that Fiji respects sovereignty and as such recognizes the disputed West Papua region as a part of Indonesia. Edwin Nund, FBC News.
Newly appointed Member of Parliament Jalila Kumar is no longer the Assistant Minister for Education, Heritage and Arts. Kumar, who was sworn into Parliament on Monday last week, was also announced the Assistant Minister then. FBC News spoke to Kumar this afternoon, who declined to comment and referred all questions to the Fiji First General Secretary Ayaz Said Qayyum. However, correspondence to Said Qayyum remains unanswered when this story was prepared. Kumar replaced Dr. Neil Sharma, who resigned from the Fiji First Party. A Fiji Airways Airbus plane involved in a tarmac incident in Nandi last Saturday is now in Brisbane, Australia for engineering assessments and repair work. The airline says it's too early to confirm when the aircraft will be back in service. Fiji Airways says its teams are working hard on the ensuing flight disruptions. An ATS loader backed into the cargo section of aircraft last Saturday as it was about to leave for Los Angeles. The smuggling and swallowing of contraband items in prisons continues to challenge the Fiji Corrections Service. Public Relations Officer Queenie Wangasavo says the installation of CCTV cameras has to some extent helped them fight against contrabands. Watisoni Rakandroka reports.
Wangasavo says contraband is an issue that the Fiji Corrections Office deals with on a daily basis.
The number of contraband items that are mostly caught in our facilities are mostly drugs like marijuana, suki, Fijian tobacco, and mobile phones, mobile chargers. And these are contraband items that are not allowed to be brought into our facilities.
Wangasavo says the CCTV cameras have helped them detect this illegal item, including sharp objects. Most of the contraband is brought in by relatives, families and friends during visitation hours and often is later confiscated from inmates through body searches.
In most cases, we found out that inmates have been swallowing drugs and mobile phones through body cavities, and this is a concern to the Fiji Corrections Service because it has a long-term effect on the inmates.
The Fiji Correction Office is pleading with the families and friends of inmates to stop bringing in contraband during visitation hours because it's not helping their loved ones and also spoils the privilege that has been provided to them. Watisoni Rekanroka, FBC News.
Sports is up next. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Nakadzaki, and good evening. After the break, more from the Fiji Sevens arrival at Nandi International this afternoon, and we cross live to Nratambu village in Nandi where the Fiji Sevens side is currently being hosted for the evening. This and more coming up.
छू 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 हे नमस्ते फीजी, आपके हर एक प्रॉब्लम की दवा लेकर मैं आ गई हूँ 9 से 12 बजे तक आपकी सहेली रेनू। छू 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 40 में 20 का दिखना है। मैं हूँ ना आपके साथ में मिर्ची एफएम पर 9 से 12 बजे तक मंडे टू फ्राइडे। मिर्ची, इट्स हॉट।
As mentioned earlier, the Vodafone Fiji Sevens team has arrived in the country, bringing with them the World 7 Series title after a lapse of 9 years. The side was greeted by hundreds at the Nandi International Airport, with family and fans out to catch up with the team. We now join FBC sports reporter Rohit Deo, who joins us live from Nratambu village in Nandi, where the team is being hosted to a dinner tonight. Bola Rohit.
Thank you, Jamie, and good evening to everyone here from Nratambu village. And yes, behind me, as you can see, is the Nratambu village hall, as everyone here is waiting for the Vodafone Fiji 7 side, as they'll be hosted here to a traditional welcome. Just before this, they were officially welcomed by the Minister for Youth and Sports, Mr. Lesenia Tuitombo, at the Raffles Gateway, and they were supposed to be here at about 6 o'clock, but there's been a bit of delay because on our way here we saw a lot of fans on the roadside waiting for them, and for sure they'd be visiting them before coming here. And the kids here, as they are lined up here with a Bulawayo red carpet also already ready for them from the main road to the village hall, that is. And of course a lot of patience these kids have as they wait for the Sevens Gladiators to arrive here. If you missed the program throughout the day today, the team arrived at around 3 o'clock at the Nandi International Airport, and more than 2,000 fans welcomed them. There was a huge number of fans, and of course the team was quite overwhelmed by the support they got from the fans today. After that, like I said, they were at the Raffles Gateway, officially welcomed by the Minister for Youth and Sports, Mr. Lesenia Tuitombo, and Vodafone also handed over their checks for winning the series, and also finishing top at the Glasgow Sevens, and also finishing third at the London Sevens. And I'll run through the program for tomorrow before I go. From 10 a.m. the squad will leave Nandi, and they'll be stopping at the Shangri-La Fijian Resort and also at Namatakula Village in Singatoka tomorrow, and they arrive in Suva at 4 p.m. and the march will be from Flea Market to Albert Park, where the initial celebrations will come to end for tomorrow. So remember, don't forget to join us from 10 a.m. tomorrow as we bring you the live coverage. We'll bring you live crosses as the team stops at places from 10 a.m. tomorrow. It's back to you, Jamie.
Thank you very much for that, Rohit. Rugby fans packed the rival concourse at Nandi International Airport this afternoon to welcome the victorious Vodafone Fiji Sevens team back from the Glasgow and London Sevens. The team received the hero's welcome for winning the World Seven Series. Josephine Navula has the details.
The Vodafone Fiji Sevens team were mobbed by hundreds of fans who waited for hours to get up close with their favorite players. An emotional mother of Sevens player Amenonina Silasila was amongst the crowd.
I'd like to thank the God Almighty for helping him through his rugby career. And I'm very proud of him because the way I teach him, Noni always listen to me. That's why he reached the level of rugby today.
Members of Semi Kunatani's family were overwhelmed by his successful outing in this series.
He was playing club rugby for Army in Rugby Nandi before being called up to join Fiji Sevens team through Dera's leadership, and was playing for Ahmadiyya Rugby Club in his Sevens career before he joined Fiji Sevens team.
Meanwhile, Captain Osiakolini Sau says they have been working very hard to win this series.
The boys have been telling each other that we don't want to write our name in sand. Let's write our name in stone, so when generations come, they can remember us by as one of the Fiji Sevens team.
The Vodafone Fiji Sevens team is in Nandi tonight. Tomorrow, the players will make their way to Suva, where celebrations will be held at Albert Park in the afternoon. Josephine Navula, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, the Fiji Sevens side were joined on the flight home by two fellow Fijian stars. Wallabies reps Henry Spate and Tevita Kurindrani, who are on a bye this week with the Brumbies in Super Rugby, managed to congratulate the players firsthand during the transit flight from Australia.
For me as a Fijian, I'm really proud to be a Fijian after Fijian won on the weekend. Yeah, I was really happy for the boys, and I'm really proud to be a Fijian.
Tevita, you came on the same flight. You must have met the boys also. How are they feeling?
Yeah, I met them in the flight. As we came from Sydney to here, we had a few jokes with some of the boys, and I knew one of my nephew there is Amenoni. He's from the same village as I am, so I might meet him after.
Teams wishing to participate in the 8th Mbula FM Maras Volleyball Tournament are being urged to register early. At the media launch today at Fiji Broadcasting Corporation, organizers confirmed they have already received a large number of registrations for the two-day competition.
We are pleading to the teams out there. Please book your spot in. Don't get disappointed. We're taking the first 32 men's team and the first 16 teams. I know there's a majority of teams from the West that have booked in their places and around Suva. I'm just pleading to those teams that will want to participate in the 8th Mbula FM to pay your registration up front. The registration closes on the 12th of June.
Meanwhile, major sponsor FBC renewed its partnership with Maras Volleyball Association for the competition, which offers a total prize money of over $15,000.
And there's no reason why we shouldn't be doing well in other sports as well, like volleyball, if the sporting bodies are given the support that they deserve. So we're very, very proud to be associated once again with the Bula FM Maris Volleyball Tournament. There's a few new things that we're offering this year in terms of sound equipment and possibly some entertainment as well.
The Bula FM Maras Volleyball competition will be held on June 26th and 27th at the FMF Gymnasium in Suva. The Vodafone Fiji Under-20 football side has settled in well in New Zealand as the team enters its final stretch of preparations ahead of the World Cup. The team arrived into New Zealand yesterday after playing 2 warm-up games in Australia. Fiji Football Association President Rajesh Patel says they are happy with the progress being shown by the team so far.
This is something very positive for our boys. I think so it gave them a gauge of what they expect at the World Cup level with playing Germany the first game. And it's not there, these 2 games. There is one more game. They'll be playing against Hungary in New Zealand. Hungary has asked us to play them, and most probably we'll be playing them in Hamilton on 23rd. So this is a very positive build-up for us before we go into Christchurch to play the first game on 1st of June.
Fiji plays Germany in its World Cup opener on June 1st in Christchurch. That was your sports for this evening. It's back to Jackie now with business.
Turtle Island Resort in the Yasawa Group has planned a week-long celebration for its 35th anniversary. Akusita Tale takes a look at one of the country's first private island paradise.
Turtle Island Resort is located on Nanuyalevu Island in the Yasawa Group and is a 30-minute seaplane ride from Nandi and 4 hours boat trip from Denarau. The 500-acre barren and uninhabited island was purchased in the 1970s by American entrepreneur Richard Evanson Sr.
So I bought it for about $500,000, payable over, I think it was 15 years. And I didn't have any thoughts then of having a resort here. It's only after I'd been here a while and had a few friends in, they said it would be lovely if I would have a few breweries.
Arriving on the island with a little more than a generator, refrigerator and tent, Evanson tilled the land and built himself a home. He later renamed his property to Turtle Island as it opened in the 1980s. It was in the late 1970s when film producers approached Evanson to use his island for the remake of the movie The Blue Lagoon. Following this, he decided to open the property to guests. The Blue Lagoon crew arrived in the country yesterday to be part of the 35th birthday celebrations.
You know, when I was here the last time, we lived in tents. There was nothing here. I mean, to see, glass, a refrigerator, a roof, we didn't have any of that when I was here 35 years ago. And so it's quite a change.
Since the opening, the development of the bures or cottages and guest facilities has been continuous. 35 years on, the resort has won numerous international awards for providing a unique, all-inclusive package on a private island with home to only 14 couples at a time. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
Fine and cool conditions were experienced over most places today. A trough of low pressure remains slow-moving over the Solomons and extends southeastwards over Vanuatu. Meanwhile, another trough of low pressure affects Tuvalu, Tokelau and Cook Islands. Temperatures: only Lambasa had a high temperature at 31 degrees. Bayan Lautoka recorded 28 degrees, while Suvanandi and Sabu Sabu had the lowest at 27 degrees. Forecast for tomorrow: fine apart from brief showers over the eastern and interior parts of the larger islands, cool at night. Outlook for Friday: fine apart from brief showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands. And recapping our top stories, celebrations are continuing in Nandi tonight as fans celebrate with the victorious Vodafone Fiji Sevens team. Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama has held a successful meeting with his Japanese counterpart Shinzo Abe in Tokyo, Japan. And parliamentarians will have to apply for a permit to hold constituency meetings. Now to our poll question. This week we're asking, should nightclub opening hours be reviewed? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. And finally, I'm Rita Pridarshni, joins you from tomorrow, and I'll be back in a week's time. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. Good night.
Sarwanduru na kaloko na Radio Fiji 1 ndo mwibiki na buongani binano. Nisambula binaka na ngono boro taki ni rongo sere na ngono nindreko malolo. Nisambula binaka. Oye wa meli kilangi. Ninge nama kati umena nongo bengi rawi maina moni tiki na warombuka na ruwa kina wana kaloko na ngono ni rongo mani vesana. Waki na wono na ngono ni rongo sere na Radio Fiji 1 na ndo mwibiki na buongani binano.